Boy Dodger, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the biggest rant I am going to have ever on this channel, probably about anything. This is about Leicester City and my gripes with them. We'll say gripes. I'm going to try not to swear in this video. But before we get into this, yeah. I'm very upset about this. We have had no business. Brendan Rodgers has come out and said, we're not going to have any business this season. We're not going to try and sell any players to move people on, get some more signings in. We're not going to try and buy players, despite the fact, and I'm going to show this right now, so I'm going to make a quick cut to show you guys and put it up on screen. Yeah, those players were people like Lookman on a permanent, which we didn't get, and I'm going to be quite honest, I didn't want him. People talking about Tielemans going with us having to replace him. We did not have to replace him. We'll get onto that in a little bit. We were meant to be bringing in, we were linked with Noni Mudieke, I can't say your name, I'm sorry. Amazing young English winger. We were meant to get you in. You were going to play on the right or the left, and Barnes was going to be shifted over to the right. It was going to be amazing. My kid has got so much potential, and that's usually the type of signing we get. And I was so excited for that when I heard we were linked with Noni, I can't say his name, Noni Mudieke. But we were meant to get him. Then we were meant to keep Lookman on a permanent after his loan, because apparently he did enough, which I don't think he did. He did enough in the season we had him on loan, but it warranted us keeping him and trying to buy him. We were meant to get 2 or 3 centre-backs in to back up our already great defenders because of the injury woes we had last season. We were meant to get 1 more wing-back in because there was rumours that Castagna was meant to be leaving just before the season started. That didn't happen. He's still there. Watch him get a goal, by the way, against Brentford like he did last year. Watch it go. Watch it go. Watch it. I'm telling you. We're meant to... This is a rant. Maddison's not going to leave. Tielemans should... We're getting on to Tielemans now. Let's talk about Tielemans. This is going to be very raw and uncut, by the way. Not many edits. So hopefully I don't swear. But... And if I do, it's just because of passion about my football club, which I'm very, very freaking pissed off about. Tielemans, if he went, and if he does go, which I'm not going to be very bothered about, and it doesn't look like he's going to. As of this recording, I've just finished recording the predictions for my Premier League table, which you haven't gone and watched. It should be somewhere up here in a little iCard. Go check it out. And but yeah, Tielemans, if he went, Dewsbury Hall is enough. And Ndidi is enough. We usually play at a 3. No, we usually play 2. We sometimes play a 3. If we haven't got any, sometimes we play a 5 and we don't have the wingers on like Barnes. That's why I don't feel like if Barnes ever left, like he's linked right now. So, I can't remember what team he's linked to. But if he left, it's nothing off our back. Perez needs to go. He should be out of the club already. Get out of here. You're not good enough for Leicester. You're not even good enough for, say, like 15 clubs out of the 20 in the Premier League right now. Or even half the teams that are going to come up, half the teams that come up, you're not even good enough for them. But he shouldn't be playing for us. He should be out of the squad. We shouldn't be playing with wingers, if you ask me. We should be playing with... Actually, I could probably easily tell you the formation we could play. We should be playing 5 at the back, and then 1 in the middle, and Ndidi, defensive mid. Left, centre mid, we should be playing... excuse me. KDH, Keenan Dewsbury Hall. Because that man is going to literally lead the Leicester line for years to come. And England, if you ask me, if they give him a chance. Right centre mid, it should be, it could be Samore, it could be anyone, actually, it could be any of the centre mids that we've got left after Tielemans leaves. But yeah, and then from there, Maddison, centre attacking mid, like we've got like a little 3-1, 5-3-1, 5, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, and then Vardy up front. We could also just drop one of the right centre mid, make Ndidi the central defensive mid, well, you know, kind of a defensive mid player for her, and then KDH as the one that pushes forward and gets the play started like he's been doing, and he's going to be amazing. Trust me, this kid's going to be amazing. I did say this in the predictions, so I'm not going to go too much into KDH. I just think the kid's got absolutely an amazing future ahead of him, and I think he's going to be one of those team club players that stays for years and years and retires at the club. But yeah, we could even play 2 up front, Daka and Vardy, Nacho and Vardy, Easily, we could play that as well. So if you ask me, our formation should be a 5-3-1-1. Just trying to add up those numbers in my head. 5, 8. Yeah, 5-3-1-1 or a 5-2-1-2. Easily, our wing backs are good enough. Justin's amazing. Luke Thomas, another great young player. You probably heard me scratching my arm there. Sorry. Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to work on my mic settings. It's always been a problem for me. I can never seem to get it right. When I do it, just weirdly changes. Get back to football, Dodger. Get back to football. Yeah, Thomas, great young player, great wing back. James Justin, same thing. Castagne's always a solid person to be putting now. Either wing, same as Justin. But if he goes, then it's whatever, because we've got the depth. We've got Ricardo. I don't even speak about Ricardo Pereira yet. One of probably our best wing back at the minute. Bar, if you ask me, Luke Thomas. Luke Thomas is just like Pereira gets all the claims and the acclaims and the accolades and the praise, but Luke Thomas is the one that drives, just like KDH. Luke Thomas and KDH last season were our shining stars, easily, hands down. And I think they, especially in Luke Thomas's case, because KDH is his first full season, but Luke Thomas always gets overlooked when it comes to Leicester, like even by the fans as well. Luke Thomas, he's one of those players. What's the word for those type of players? He's one of those players that go unnoticed, like a Dennis Irwin for Manchester United, or Gilberto, arguably for Arsenal back in the day. Like those are the underrated players that don't get the headlines, don't get their names sung like with songs and praise, but are probably the better player when it comes to the position to somebody else who is getting that praise and stuff like that. Hurts me sometimes because I see them. I see you guys, Luke Thomas. I see you guys, KDH. I saw you when you were playing for us, Chilwell, before you got the accolades and stuff like that, and your name shone and sung about. Like you can ask the people I play with on COD, Jordan, JD, and people you've seen on his channel before. They'll tell you whenever there's a new left back coming up in Leicester's squad, I am always singing their praises. It started off with I went to Crystal Palace. I can't remember. I'm always going blank. We started off with him. He went to Crystal Palace. I can't remember his name. I'm actually quickly going to look it up and come back. So it's going to be one cut. Jeffrey Schlupp. Good old... as I used to call him. Jeffrey Schlupp was the first left back for Leicester. I believe it was 2014-15 season. I noticed him. I thought he was a great player. And I said he was going to go on to bigger and better things. He has done, not in the ways I thought he was going to. But he went to Crystal Palace. He had a great couple of seasons there. And I think he's moved on now somewhere else. After that was Luke Chilwell, and now it's Luke Thomas. I think that Luke's at our squad. But Leicester left backs are always, and I mean always, going to be talked about in a great way. There's a new guy coming up. He's a right back who also plays on the left. Something Campbell. He's a defender who you're going to watch out for the next few years. And I'm saying it right now. In 2022, first day of the season, and yeah. He's going to be another one. I think it's Valley Campbell or something like that, or Daly Campbell. One of them. He's another guy who's going to be wonders in the next like five seasons. Watch him come through the ranks. When we eventually sell Luke Thomas, when somebody finally notices that he's one of the best left backs in the Premier League. Yes, I just said that. But anyway, back to my rant. Brendan Rodgers, what the hell are you doing? We saw the quote earlier as I showed it on the screen. We're going to have a big overhaul, transfer. Like there's going to be a lot of business. We need these players in. Blah blah blah. We're going to be achieve and be ambitious. And then a couple of months later, or a couple of weeks later, he's like, the times of Leicester being in the top 6 and winning winning the Premier League and stuff like that are over. No. We just need to invest and invest correctly and get the players who don't need to be there, like your Perez's, like your Tielemans who don't want to be there. We need to start backing our youth again, like Daniel Inverson. He should be starting for me. If Danny Ward starts tomorrow, I think we play tomorrow, don't we? We don't play, I believe. Well, it's Arsenal today, and then it's... Yeah, we play Sunday. So, if Danny Ward... Now, don't get me wrong, Danny Ward's a great player. Is it Danny Ward? Probably is. Is it Danny? Yeah. If he starts for us, he's a great player, don't get me wrong. Great, Welsh national side, stuff like that. He's a great player. But If he starts over at Everson, who had an amazing season for Preston, and don't think it's just because of the Championship. That kid has been amazing for years. I've been watching his career while he's been out on loan, everywhere and anywhere. Like, this kid is the next Schmeichel. Schmeichel's had him under his wing for one season when he didn't go out on loan. Or was it half a season he didn't go out on loan for? One of them. Everson's the next Schmeichel for us. He's going to be such a great player, and we need to back him this season. If he doesn't start on the opening day of the season for Leicester, we're going to struggle, because I've got a feeling Brendan Rodgers is going to be like, no, I know Danny Ward's been good in the Cups, so I'll play. And he hasn't been good for us in the Cups. Arguably, he's been diabolically bad for us in the Cups. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have a great... He'll probably have a clean sheet first day of the season. I am predicting Leicester a 2-1 victory over Brentford. Yeah, we're still going to... yeah. Same old. Guaranteed Rodgers will make a stupid substitution in the 60th, 70th minute, and the defence will get a pot. And a lot of people probably blame, like they always blame Amati. And it's not Amati's fault. No, he makes a different sub. He always takes off somebody who's driving the game. And he's like, I need to save them for the next game. No, you need to keep them on for this game. Because anyone he always takes off a midfielder, or he always brings on Vestergaard. Oh my God, Vestergaard, kill me now. Oh, don't even get me started on Vestergaard. Every time we brought him on last season, we lost. Every single time. We started, we lost. We brought him on, we lost, and gave up a lead. But it's the same old story. Guarantee. Rodgers all over. He will bring off somebody. Will probably be 1-0 or 2-0, 3-0 up. And we will then lose in the last 30 minutes of the game. Because of the substitution he makes. I won't be shocked if he brings off an Ndidi or he takes off Tielemans. I probably think he'll have a good start to the season because he's trying to attract clubs to buy him. Could even be KDH, to be fair. It'll take somebody off. And when he does, we'll just get a pot and we'll concede. Because Brendan Rodgers doesn't seem to realise that players who are doing good that game have the fitness to stay on and still have the game defensively. Because a lot of our midfield and a lot of our defence are good at that. What we're not good at is when you bring on some stupid reject like Vestergaard. No offence, Vestergaard, but oh my God, you were literally that person last season. Amati, I feel like it's going to be the scapegoat this season, but Amati's a great defender. He was a good midfielder when he played in midfield as well. I think he was really underrated. But he'll bring on Chowdhury or somebody like that. He'll bring on an extra striker to try and seal off the game for a win, which sounds smart, but he'll sacrifice probably the best player, one of the players who's putting in the work, putting in the grind in midfield, or maybe even in defence. He might bring off Johnny Evans to keep his fitness, or maybe Fofana. I know Pereira's out for the first few weeks, I believe. Could be a few months, actually. I think it's for a few months. Yeah, I think he's out for half a season, actually. Again. I mean, I've got the depth. Again. But we have that. We've got a depth in wing backs, to be fair. But, yeah. He'll make a stupid decision, make a stupid substitution, and we'll lose. Or draw. Guarantee it. But, this is probably getting on a little bit too long now, but I love Leicester City. And the only way I see us progressing is, unfortunately, without Brendan Rodgers as our manager. I don't want to blame the chairman. I don't want to blame anybody else because our owners, we have got such a tight-knit club that we love our owners. Our owners love it. You know what I mean? We've been through a lot the past few years with the passing. I'm not going to go into that because we don't need to talk about that. That was a tough time for Leicester. We came together and it was an amazing time. But Rodgers will not be at Leicester, and I think he's going to the whole season. I think he's going to be probably the first or maybe the second if Frank Lampard doesn't get his arse into gear towards the start of the season. I think Rodgers should, and rightly should, be out this season for Leicester. He's been there a lot longer than he has at any other club, and I don't think it suits him. I don't think he seems to realise, this is the project you need to keep putting in. You can't just give up your project and just coast the league. That's not how it works. You need to back up your team and bring in more young players, keep stacking up. Like Fafana was an amazing signing. Unfortunately, we're going to lose him. He's probably going to be one of the best centre backs in the world in the next few seasons. So I already know as a Leicester fan, we're not keeping him. Conte's, Danny Drinkwater when he was a good player, and he actually got to play. Anthony Knockhart, like he wasn't. Oh, sorry about the squeak. Leg's gone to sleep. Anthony Knockhart wasn't the best player for us. He wasn't the best player afterwards, but he was one of those players that like really grinded up and like got us into Prem and like kept us going and stuff like that. Mahrez, like we lose big personalities and big players in our club all the time. So Fafana, we know he's going to leave. Probably not this season. I'm really hoping not this season. I know Chelsea's sniffing around him, but we won't sell him this season. No chance he's on a new deal. Like, unless they're going to pay 80 to 90 million for the kid, we ain't selling him. But Leicester need to keep on, like, here's the thing, people probably ask me who just signed. Noni Muriakel, like I said, with winger, I'd bring him in. Not that we need wingers, and my two formations that I said earlier. Wingers don't need to do that. I could see us selling Barnes and we'd be fine. Definitely be fine if we sold a lot of our wingers, to be fair, like Perez. Or Brighton, he's a club player. I don't think... I'm going to get hate for from the Leicester supporters now, but I don't see, and I don't think all Brighton's there anymore at Premier League level. He's been a great player for us, but I just don't. I think he's losing his step. I think he's losing his mark. He isn't what Mark. I don't think Mark is where he was when we got him, or even 2 seasons ago. I think he's needs to go now. But yeah, Muriakel should come in if we're going to keep a winger in our formation. Wingers in our formation, I should say. We need to bring in a young centre attacking mid for when we eventually lose Madison. Like a Brendan Harrison type player, Morgan Gibbs-White, a player like that. Young, on the up and coming, who could play on the bench, come off the bench and play. But I don't see KDH being that a secondary striker behind or that, but that player that gets the assists or drives forward and stuff like that. Now he does drive forward, but I don't see him getting 10 to 15 goals a season and 10 to 15 assists, or 20 assists a season either. As much as I love him, I think he's going to be the assister. I think he's going to be the assist to the assistee. You know what I mean? The guy who gets the assist is the guy who just got passed to by KDH as well. I think he's going to be that playmaker, you know. But we need a couple more young centre backs. I'd love to see a Ronnie Edwards, a Callum Doyle for Sunderland. Callum Doyle, Ronnie Edwards. I can't actually remember who you play for, but I know you're a very good, very young player. If you see this, hello. Both in their teens, both should be. Well, I think actually Callum Doyle's 20 this year, but we should be signing good young English centre backs going through, because there's not a lot of centre halves for England on the up and coming. Just apart, you know, Ben White and those kind of players. But I mean, like those high potential, like really young players that haven't been discovered yet, like the Callum Doors, the Ronnie Edwardses. That's the only two I can think of in a minute. Love to sign up a couple of those. Levi Colwill from Chelsea. Apparently, we're going to swap. No, I see Colwill going out. He'll go out on a loan deal, like somewhere like Palace or Nottingham Forest or Everton or something like that. Guarantee. I'd bring in a new keeper. I'd bring in Etienne Green from the French league. I'd bring him in. Plays Saint Etienne Green, a young 20 or so English street keeper. Yeah, here's the thing about Leicester. We always have good, decent, young English players that go up and above and beyond their potential. I'd love to see a couple of, a couple of Danish players. You know, just really good young players. A couple of really strong English prospects, like I've mentioned. But not only those, but like some great, like a Patson Daka type player. Maybe in centre attacking mid. I'd love to see Daka in midfield, actually, like as a centre attacking mid. Or even Nacho. Like, yeah. Actually, yeah. Yeah, actually. Jacob Ramsey's younger brother. We could sign him. I'm just listing off young English players. I'm just typically talking about like Leicester's core, like in the core of our squad, like the players who don't get to play all the time and don't always get on the sub bench, but they're there and they're grinding and they're grafting and stuff like that. We've got a lot in our academy right now in our under 21 squad who are going to be those types of players, but I think we need to buy them in now, buy some more in now. Focus on that. First team wise, I've already listed like Miliakel. Excuse me. I think we could even sign Jonathan Panzo from our rivals, Nottingham Forest. Unless he was on... Was he on loan last season? Or is he actually like... I can't actually remember, but... Jonathan Panzo. Tom Lawrence, mate. Is it Tom Lawrence? No, Tom Lawrence is a striker. Jamie? No, it's not Jamie Lawrence, is it? He's a young German defender. Something Lawrence. He's a great... Looking like a great player. Because I want to... Like him, like... I think it's Vice or something, or Visa, or something like that. It's the problem, man. Like I said, this is raw and uncut. There's a few players I'd want us to buy. Like first team quality players, like what I'm thinking of right now, like a centre back, we could easily sign. I don't know. Max Kilman would be a good sign for us actually in defence. Yeah. Max Kilman for me. Max Kilman, Levi Colwell. Ronnie Edwards, Callum Doyle, those players, get him in. I'd love to see those. All four of them. Well, maybe not Max Kilman because Wolves, they're in and around us. So I don't know if it'd be an upgrade in his eyes, and Wolves probably don't want to sell him, especially because I think Connie Cody's probably gonna either retire in the next few years or he's gonna be moved on somewhere else. That's a different story for a different day. But yeah, we need to bring in some really good players. We need to keep the young core behind our team. We need to bring in those types of players who are going to be they're not there right now, but they're going to be those players that move on and soar to the skies. Like your Chilwells, like your Contes, like your Jamie Vardy's, who hasn't actually been moved on, but still, you can't like it, James. Fleetwood Town to, non-league 2, where he is now, you know what I mean? He gets said a lot, but... Yeah, your James Maddison's, your Kasper Schmeichels, who was written off when he left Man City, and he moved on somewhere off in his younger days. And we knew he was a great keeper. We kept him. He brought us up into the Prem. He was our backline for like our keeper for a long time. He has been, and he's sadly moved on. And I'm very, very pissed off about it because that Kasper Schmeichel should have ended his career at Leicester City. He's done so much for our club. There should be a statue outside the King Power Stadium for that guy. He's been our captain, our leader, and probably one of the greatest keepers to ever put on the Leicester City shirt, and let alone any Premier League team's shirt in this modern generation. Kasper Schmeichel is an amazing keeper, and if it was up to me, and I was on that Leicester board, and I was Brendan Rodgers, I would have re-signed that guy until he was ready to retire. I don't care if he was on the bench, in the starting lineup, whatever it was. He should have retired at our club, and he will always be, in my eyes, a Leicester City player. Always and forever a Leicester City faithful. I'm very pissed off he's left. I don't even care if people say he was dropping off. Wasn't the same kind of form he was like. Looks like his legs were starting to tire. Like his dives didn't look as good as he looked like he was getting more bumps and like. Kasper Schmeichel. Thank you for everything you did for our club and more. You were a captain, a leader, as I've said, but more importantly, you were our heart at Leicester. You really were. You truly were and truly are still our heart at Leicester City, and we're not going to be the same without you. Ederson, if he gets the time, will be there. He will be a good new number 1 keeper for us. If not, we need to sign an Etienne Green type player or another youngish type of keeper who's going to stay there for a good 5 to 8 years. Could even be is his name Onana? Am I thinking about a midfielder? Whatever. Kasper Schmeichel, thank you for everything you did. Thank you for your service at Leicester. And thank you for always being that shining, smiling guy in that goalkeeper position who always brought a smile to everybody's face and always was the guy that was never spoken about like he should have been. You're always in that shadow of your father, and if you ask me, my friend, if your father was not in the same talk as you, I think you would have been bigger and better. I think he would have shone. And I don't mean better as in like quality wise for keepers, because Peter Schmeichel was still and always will be the greatest English Premier League keeper ever, and I mean ever, possibly in the world. But Kasper, you did a service to us, and we have stabbed you in the arse and stabbed you in the back. And I would never forgive Brendan Rodgers for doing that. And if it was our owners that did that, it definitely would put them in a different light for me now. Because, yeah. I'm rambling. Like I said, this could be raw and uncut, so there's not going to be any cuts. So I'm sorry if this is boring. If it does, just skip ahead. Yeah. Leicester City, I am fearful for us this season. I've put us, my Premier predictions as 13th, I believe. Or 14th, one of them. We could easily go down this season. Brendan Rodgers will probably has come out and said, no one's for sale, blah, blah, blah. We're not looking to get anybody out, but we've got to look towards the future, and in January someone will go. Next season, a lot will go. I think a Maddison will go, a Barnes will go, a Fofana will go. I think an Evans might even retire. I think Ricardo Pereira will go. I think even Ian Nacho would go, which to a lot of Leicester City fans won't be a big deal, but to me it will, because I think that kid is like 25, 26 now, 27, 28. Ian Nacho is a good striker if you ask me. He's not a James Vardy type player, but if we modify our system but it doesn't involve a Vardy type player, Vardy type striker, because that's not what Daka is, that's not what Ian Nacho is, they'd be getting the same amount of goals as Vardy does and did. I think Jamie Vardy will retire next year or the season after. And when he does, we are going to be absolutely struggling, because I guarantee Brendan Rodgers is still in charge, which I'm praying he won't be and shouldn't be after the last season, and I guarantee this season, and how he goes about our team and how he plays us, and the lack of... He just doesn't seem to have any care for Leicester or the squad or anything. Like, he was calling out players left, right and centre last season, and it wasn't their fault, it was his fault. He's the one making these substitutes that are getting us effed over in the last 30 minutes of each game. Oh, you got injuries, cry me a river. Like, January we should have signed players who, like, defenders, even if they were on loan, like, we should have been signing these players to get us through until they came back. You know what I mean? Like, it's on you, Brendan Rodgers. Nobody else. It's on you. Nobody, not one of those players, apart from you, Tielemans obviously, gave up in those games. Not one player gave up. And you brought up our best players in those games every single time. Like, you go watch Leicester Fan TV, shout out, on YouTube during those live reactions and stuff like that. We all know what will happen before you do it, and then you do it. Every single time we watch a live reactions and watch the game last season, we would all say when it came to that 60-minute mark, 65, 70-minute mark, 80 mark, well, Vestergaard's about to come on, I'm about to lose this, or we're going to concede one here. Or it was injury, where's the players that we're meant to be bringing in? Blah, blah, blah. It was always the same thing. Like, you would say, oh, we're 2-0 up against this person, or we're 1-0 up against this person. Gets the 60-minute mark. Well, he's about to make a stupid substitution here, probably Vestergaard, or he's probably going to bring off, like, I think it was, he's probably going to bring off Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. He's going to probably bring off a James Maddison. He's probably going to bring off a Marte, who actually was doing really good last season in centre-back. And he's probably going to bring on someone else, and it's just going to fall apart. And what happened every single time? He made that substitution and we fell apart. Every single time. Or before the game started, we'll see the lineup. Why is Dak on his own? Even European football we were playing in the Conference League last season. We played a two up the front, at the top. Daka and Ian Nacho. Daka and Bardi. Ian Nacho and Bardi, when he was fit. And we were winning, and it looked amazing with the two at the top. Like it was like night and day when it came to that in Premier League. I think the Champions League, the Conference League for Leicester really messed with Brendan Rodgers' head. I think it really did. He didn't know what to do, where to go when it came to the Premier League, at all. He focused on the wrong competition, and when he got kicked out by competition to Roma and Jose Mourinho, the same crap just continued in the Premier League. He didn't want to change the formation. He didn't want to try new players. I guaranteed, as centre-halves, we didn't have much option to try different players. He gave KDH a chance. That's the only good thing he did. He gave Luke Thomas more chances, which he was forced to do because of injuries. But honestly, Yuri Tielemans brought the morale down for every single fan and every player. You could tell when we walked out, Yuri Tielemans would start, and we just weren't the same Leicester. And why wouldn't you just bench him or just keep him out of the squad? Like, you could tell he didn't want to be there. He wasn't showing up. He wasn't putting any performances in. He just didn't want to be there. He just looked lacklustre and couldn't be arsed. It's just how he just looked like he couldn't be arsed. This has been my rant on Leicester City. Hopefully things turn around in January, because nothing's going to happen in the dying embers of the transfer window. We're the only team in said transfer window in the top 6 leagues in Europe who have not brought a player, who have done no business this season. This transfer window, sorry. January, I hope and pray we bring in a backup centre-back, centre-half, or we bring in a first-team quality centre-half to replace Fofana, who will be gone next season. And we all know he's going to be gone next season. We all know as fans, we all know as football wannabe pundits, we all know as football enthusiasts, Fofana will not be a Leicester City player when it comes to the 23-24 season. And if he is, it won't be long until he's gone. Same thing goes for a few other players in different positions. We won't go into them, like Maddison, Barnes, but yeah. This has been my rant on Leicester City Football Club. A club I love and a club I wish was in a completely different status right now. Because right now we are a team that is on a downward spiral, and I could see relegation in our future if things don't change. So this is a cry and a plead and a plea and a sack Brendan Rodgers. Bring in someone young, like a Graham Potter. Save our club, because we can be, and we should be, still top 6, top 8 material. I don't think I'm being very over-dramatic there, or over-ambitious. We were a very, very, very well-run club, until the manager could not give a damn. And now we go into the 22-23 Premier League season with no business done and nothing in the horizon. It's going to be a very big struggle for us this season. We're going to have some very bright lights in a KDH, in a Luke Thomas. If he plays in a Daniel Ervison, I think Daka's going to have a better season as well. But it's not going to change the fact that we're looking like relegation. And I can already tell you that before the season starts. We will get the substitutions made at the wrong times. He'll play the wrong squad. He'll come out in the press and say some things that should never be said about anybody in a football club unless they're going on their way out. Like Ronaldo should be spoken about in a negative way right now. He should be. Because he's destroying Manchester United. Like a Pogba in the past. Like a Tevez in the past. Stuff like that. Brendan Rodgers is ruining Leicester City Football Club. Fix it. Please. My name's been Dodger. If you have somehow enjoyed this, agree with this, or have anything to say, comment section down below. Drop that like. Share this video. At Leicester City Football Club on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on social media in general. So they see this. Even if it's just a short clip. Fix this club. Sack Rodgers. Bring in a new, better manager. He might even be better than Rodgers when it comes to on paper. But bring in a manager who wants to try. Who wants and believes in this club like the fans do, like the owners do. Who will see those little the hidden gems in the lower leagues, in the Premier League, and even in our youth squad, our under 23 squad, our under 21 squad, and use them and make Leicester City better and where we should be. Top 6, top 8, top 10. This season, we're finishing bottom half. Could even be relegated. All because one man named Rodgers couldn't give a damn. Thank you for watching. Try.